Yeah, baby, we did. We finally have won 2 games in a row. The first time since the 2021 season, weeks 16 and 17. Matt Nagy was the coach back then, and the first time under the Matt Eberflus era. Lots to talk about, and I'm going to do it with my guys, Coach T and Danny Shimon. I'm filling in for John Buffone, who was dealing with 2 inches of water in his basement. Good luck to you, John. I'm going to start first with you, Coach. There you go. State Farm. Coach, I'm going to start first with you. What happened in that second half that turned the tables offensively and defensively?
I'm probably going to take a spin here and go defensively first, right? I think this defense is probably over the last 2 or 3 games becoming a defense that we can rely on at certain points to make better plays. I was interested in seeing prior to the game how Matt Eberflus played the whole two-minute situation. I don't think we really had a true 2-minute situation similar to we had in the first game, but I think he did exactly what Danny asked him to do at the halftime break, was to dial up the pressure at certain particular times. And he made it a little bit difficult for Jared Goff and getting them in the 3rd and long situations. And I think they did it. I think the offense did just enough, you know what I'm saying, to secure the victory. I wasn't totally impressed with the play calling, the game plan situationally, but hell, you know what I'm saying? You'll take it, man. You got Justin Fields with 19 for 33. That's not going to make for a great completion percentage. 223 and 1 TD and no interceptions. And I think one of the things that's overrated or overlooked about, you know what I'm saying, with all the hold the ball conversations about Justin Fields, is you're not going to see him throw a whole bunch of interceptions, right? So, DJ, from a rushing perspective, Justin had 12 carries for 58 yards. Deontay Foreman, only 11 carries for 50 yards. DJ Moore, 3. I like to see our other backs get other carries. Take some of those carries off of Justin and give them to Roschon Johnson, Khalil Herbert, and you know what I'm saying? Like, let's start doing better on first down, our first down plays and stuff like that. But I'm not going to nitpick it to death. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to take it for what I can give today. You know.
Although you're on mute, but I think it's my turn to go.
I'm sorry. Please go ahead, Danny.
Well, first of all, Coach T, you're right. Defensively, I think this defense obviously is coming together. I think you see the Montez sweat effect. I did a little small clip package on this past week before 55 in terms of how he affects others. We're seeing Gervon Dexter make a difference. We're seeing Justin Jones make a difference. We saw him today with that bull rush on Corey Decker, just running right into the quarterback with that long reach, grab Goff and bring him down with one arm, basically. So Montez Sweat is helping that defense. We're seeing turnovers. You know, this defense knows how to game plan against Jared Goff. He's thrown 6 interceptions now in 2 games. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Aldo. But they're getting about 6 of 15 was Detroit today on 3rd down. So they were getting off the field on 3rd down. I think there was one point in the second half. There's 3 or 4 straight 3 and outs for Detroit, and obviously that then helps the offense. You know, Justin, I talked about, getting the ball over to DJ Moore. I think they made more of a concerted effort. Obviously, DJ got that long touchdown at 4th and 13. That's a big play there as well. And Justin then uses his legs to get that second touchdown too. So they did just enough offensively to go and put some points on the board. But again, 28 points is pretty good. If this defense continues to build, that's enough to win you a lot more games. And Another thing, guys, that's going to go kind of maybe under the radar, but I tweeted out a couple times. This has to be Dan Campbell's worst coached game as head coach of the Lions. I mean, that fourth down, going for it, and his own was a 30-yard line. That was a huge momentum. I mean, they stopped the Bears from scoring, but they got field goal there, made a 2-possession game with 15 points there.
Disrespectful, man.
Yeah, and then some of the other play calls and some of the other things he was doing that challenge to me was there was no way you reverse that challenge because there was no conceivable proof that ball was not caught by Cole Kmet. That was a bad challenge. Loses a timeout there. So I think Dan Campbell had his hand in there in terms of helping the Bears get this victory. But credit to, I've been hard on Matt Eberflus. Now, you guys asked me if there's any way this guy can save his job on this past week's before 155. I said, no, I want this coaching staff gone. However, this team is rallying to him. This defense is rallying to him. Offensively, I still have a lot of problems with Luke Getsy. I still have, on halftime, I was out here saying I was done with Luke Getsy in terms of his play calling. That is still an issue for me. But, Matt Eberflus got to give him credit. This team plays hard for him. This defense believes in him, and they're rallying to the football. They're playing mistake-free football now. Still some missed tackles here and there that you want to get cleaned up, but they're going to add more talent, or at least you hope they add more talent to this defense. And I think that's something that you can build on. So, Matt Eberflus, in terms of what you're doing here, we saw more fire on the sidelines there. If he just had an offensive coordinator that could consistently put his players on offense in the best position to succeed, I think this guy would have a better chance at succeeding at the next level. So the only thing I'm going to say about Matt Eberflus is the Bears should have won the last 3 games. They should have beat Detroit in Detroit. They should have won. They did beat Minnesota, and they won again today against Detroit. That's 3 straight games in your division versus the top 2 teams in your division, or 2 of the top 2 teams in your division. So that's improvement. That's progress. If they play like this, if this defense continues to get better, okay, and the offense continues to put up 28 plus points a game, conceivably they could run the table on the rest of the season. There isn't anyone out there. Cleveland's got a tough defense, so putting up points against them is going to be tough. But offensively, if you stop the run, which that's the Bears' strength, quarterback-wise, they're shaky at quarterback. And I'm not sure what they did today, but with the rookie and DTR, which I do like, an athletic player, or Joe Flacco, who they basically pulled off of his couch in retirement mode, they could get to them. They could possibly beat them. I'm not guaranteeing a victory, but I'm saying that's a possibility. Obviously, Arizona could be playing on Christmas Eve. Could be, God knows what their heads could be at, right? And then you have the Falcons, who are not a great team, on New Year's Eve, and then the Packers, right? So convincingly, if this team runs a table, not only will they save Matt Eberflus's job, but they could get into the momentum that we saw Detroit go into last season, and go into the offseason and then build off of that. Now, I have a lot of questions offensively about Getsy. That's not going to stop. And I also want to know some other things about the front office and what they're going to pursue here. But we've always talked about Matt Eberflus needing a victory that kind of puts a stamp on his team. These 3, they won 2 out of the last 3. They should have won all 3, but this victory today could be one of those victories where Matt Eberflus turns around and says, that saved my career, and that could propel this Bears to some better outcomes in the near future.
Coach, a lot for you to react here based on, what Danny shared. I'd love for you to continue the conversation on Eberflus's. Well, first of all, can the Bears run that table, Coach? I saw you kind of nodding your head when Danny was saying that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the schedule, it's Cleveland, Arizona. I'm not. I know we have sleep with Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons. I mean, I think they can win the majority of the game. I don't know about running the table just yet, but you know what I'm saying? Everything's on the table. When your defense is playing well, everything's on the table. It becomes, can we clean up, or can we clean up some of the mistakes, play calling wise and offensively, drop balls, missed throws, misreads, but overall have more continuity in offense overall. Over the last few weeks, and continue to improve offensively over the last week. And I think part of that is going to be Coach Eberflus's willingness to go into that offensive room and put guardrails around Luke Getsy and say, hey, on first downs, like I talked about this all the time. Hey, on first downs, I would like to see more of this, X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? I just don't like I don't like a lot of wasted plays on offense. Those quarterback runs, again, I talk about condiments versus, full course meals or main course meals all the time. After you get done with the zone reads and your quarterback runs, you can't major in minors offensively, right? Those are wasted plays. Now, I remember the one series there, Danny, you might recall, where we were 2 yards short of moving the chains. Well, we wasted a down earlier in that series on the quarterback run that went nowhere. It was secured. The perimeters, the outsides were secured. Justin couldn't get to the outside. We probably took like a 1 or 2 yard loss. Those are wasted plays. Just run the ball behind your backs, averaging 4 yards per carry.
I'm saying we say I formation, lead fullback, give it Dante I formation. He gets
great things happen great things happen when Corey Blasingame is in the game. Great things happen when the kid is in the game. You know what I'm saying? Run the ball with your running backs, right? And if you want to get Justin out, get him out on play actions and boots off of play action where he has the opportunity to choose whether to run. I'm not such a big a fan of the design runs outside of the zone read. Like the other stuff they can keep.
And the other thing, it's a great point in terms of the head coach has got to go in there and tell Luke Getsy, run the damn ball. Yeah. That's what I want. And that's what I'm saying in terms of Luke Eberflus. He's got to take control. He's got to know that he is the head coach of this damn football team. He can tell Luke Getsy what to damn run. Yeah. You say, run the damn ball. I want to see Justin under center. I want to see play action from there. That's where they're most successful. It's like it freezes the linebackers for a split second, gives you that in between that second and third level of defense, those throws for Justin to make. Like, why are we consistently going empty or out of the shotgun with 11 personnel? Let's do what we do best. I just it forces as a head coach has to put his foot down and tell Luke Getsy what to damn do.
It forces defense to play run first, and none of our opponents when we go out 11 personnel and 12 and gun, they're not coming out and they're not respecting us in our run game because they know the coordinator's not going to run the game. And if you go under center, you allow that extra split second to say, hey, guys, I got to play my run responsibilities first. Then I can go to my pass rush move. But allowing teams to tee off on us offensively or defensively is just not the move. We gotta clean that up, man. But again, yeah, I'm still with the crowd. I still want to boat roll this guy out of town on the first thing moving. I get him a Greyhound.
But the only problem with that, Coach T, is if you fire Getsy and you keep Eberflus, you're limited in terms of the field of offensive play callers you can attract here. That's why, because Eberflus is going to go into next season as a lame duck head coach because he's one of the best seasons of him getting fired. And that's the thing we kept running it with that with Lovie Smith. We kept running that with John Fox. It's like you cannot really get great offensive play callers to come in here and take the job because Eberflus is not going to be on, he's going to be on a short leash, even if he keeps his job after the season. That's what getting rid of Luke Getsy is going to be so hard. What I want to see is bring in an offensive senior analyst like you did with Phil Snow on defense. Bring someone in and help Luke Getsy put the game plan together. Luke Getsy's only been in one offense, guys. He's only known this one offense with LaFleur, and he also, I think it was Joe Moorhead with Mississippi State. He's got to get into some different philosophies. He's got to be able to take his personnel. Maybe somebody else
be more around it.
Come in there and say, all right, let's try this. Obviously this is all going to be off-season stuff. It's not going to be in-season stuff. So let's take a look at this. Let's try this. Let's put some new wrinkles in the offense, and then now help Luke Getsy become a better offense corner. Because I don't think you're going to go out there and get. You have a desperate coach out there looking for a 1 year fix. But again, now I talk about a whole new system, bringing in a whole new play caller. That's starting from scratch all over again offensively. I might as well just scratch the whole staff then at that point, So it's just stuck in this situation. Like it seems like the Bears are always stuck in. Whether it's a new GM, same coach, you got to fire the coach, new staff. Now you're bringing a new quarterback. It's always they're never on a even playing field here. It's always like one up, one down, and I just want everything to be nice and smooth. So keeping Getsy might be your best option, but bring in someone to help him. Bring in an offensive analyst.
Let me challenge on you, but I'm also in agreeing with you the same. Let me challenge you on that one. I agree with the offensive assistant portion of it, but let me ask you a question. If the defense balls out, right? I mean, they continue to turn the ball over like we have over the last couple games, last 2 or 3 games. They continue to ball out, and it's just a glaring thing that our issues are on offense. And knowing the relationship between Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus, right? does somebody like does that make it more of an attractive job, right? Because I'm looking at, and I've called out the name. Look, Matt can call his old boss Frank and say, "Hey, Frank, do you want the job all outright, or do you want the senior analyst role? Let me know." You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm more of a fan of him coming in as a senior assistant, learning the language that Gansey has kind of taught and transitioning and taking over. So he starts to screw out, then y'all can transition him out of the role and it's smooth. And we look up and we don't know where Luke went. But either way, I think we gotta do something on that end. But I'm there with you. I just don't think we go after a young gun.
No.
You know what I'm saying? A hot name, it's not going to happen. It has to be a seasoned veteran offensive coordinator. Somebody
keep an eye on is Jim Caldwell. He's currently become the offensive assistant over with Carolina. Once they fired Frank Reich. He's a guy that I actually was kind of looking to maybe take over this job when Eberflus got it. So if he gets let go, if they clean house there in Carolina, he's a guy to bring in here, a guy who's been around the league, who could multiple offenses could come in here. Now I'm not sure philosophy wise how him and Getsy would mix and match, but bring in someone with different ideas, different concepts to kind of coach with Getsy, give him some ideas, get some different formations in there, and lean it, and then expand this offense. Hopefully, you go and get yourself another receiver opposite of DJ Moore, Marvin Harrison Jr. or Keon Coleman, neighbors from LSU. Those kind of big play receivers that just kind of completes the offense. Get yourself a veteran center or an upgraded center, and I would sign Deontay Foreman. I think he's a guy that I believe is only a 1-year contract. I would sign him back, bring him back. If you're going to rotate him with Roshan Johnson, with Khalil Herbert next year, I'm fine with that as well. Keep adding offensive ideas and concepts to this team.
Yeah.
You've got the explosiveness at quarterback, at receiver, at running back. You've got an offensive line now that can move people off the line of scrimmage. This defense continues to build here. I've been called negative Danny. I've been told, I've been a guy that's been told that you're just negative, but I'm seeing positive signs here, and I'm just saying this is a way you can probably take this team if you continue to build here, and maybe not run a table, but win throughout the last 4 games. Right now, that gets you to what, 8 victories on the season, 8 and 9. Right. That's an improvement over what it looked like was going to happen at the beginning of the season. You get the momentum going into the offseason and just continue to add, whether it's in that coaching staff, whether it's on talent, and instead of blowing everything up, bringing a new quarterback, bringing a new offense coordinator, bringing a whole. Right. If you want to continuous continuity, that's how teams get better. But Matt Eberflus, you got to put your foot down. You got to tell your coordinator Luke Getsy, run a damn ball, get Justin under center, Luke more play action. Let's build our passing game off of the run action game, and that's how we're going to put up points. Like I said, you get 28 points a game. This defense continues to get better. You're going to win more games there, Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, we've seen over the last few weeks, we've seen Ryan either during the Vikings game be more critical. Sorry about that. Be more critical of the passing game, or actually motioning that we speed up the pace with the offensive game. And like I said, I think I saw a clip last week where possibly Matt Eberflus call a third and long play or whatnot. I'm hearing the noise. I'm hearing the noise of more players getting involved with more of the coaches getting involved with the offensive concept. But I don't want to breeze over something you said, Danny. You said that, Luke Getsy has only had one real coaching offensive coordinator job. And and that shows up in his play calling, the experience with game planning, installing game planning and play calling. And it will help to have somebody that has a deeper resume come in and give him really serve as a mentor, right? But also secondarily to be there in case that person needs to take over, so to speak. The offense needs to take over, but have somebody there as a mentor to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Have you ever learned this concept? Do you learn, you know what I'm saying? Do you know? Because it seems like Nagy, he knows the surface level plays, but when it goes into having the wealth of knowledge and the bag to dig into, talking about going in your bag, right? Having the contingencies off of that. It seems like the contingency plays off of his plays. Like I said, we ran the zone read today, right? When did you see the RPO play off of the zone read? Because they walk down safeties at some point, right? To stop the zone read. When did you see the RPO plays off of that? You got to have your counter play off power, right? You got to have boots off of certain plays. So the contingency plays aren't there. He doesn't have a bag to go into, and he gets in trouble with that. So I agree with you, Danny. We need to either fire the dude outright, or we need to bring an assistant in and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me look over your shoulder a little bit, kid, and let me show you some things. But
even like a guy that I'm throwing it out there, like Greg Roman, right? He could be the run game coordinator, and Getsy could be the pass game coordinator, and Getsy call the plays, and a combination with him and Roman could put together the game plan. It's stuff like that, like just to put you in a position where what you do best is run the football. Okay. Yeah. And I'm assuming you're going to add to that offensive line. I'm assuming you're going to add to the offensive artillery outside for Justin Fields. Keep Justin Fields. Use that his ability to run as a quarterback. Maybe not 18 carries or 15 carries, maybe 7 to 10 carries a game, but utilize that creativity now and add the passing attack of Getsy that he likes to call up. And now just pull more out of this offense. You get more out of this offense. Obviously, defensively, you have Eberflus calling the plays. And I think something that, guys, that we don't know the impact has happened over this past couple of weeks. But Phil Snow, the senior defensive assistant that was added, how much of impact has he had in terms of pre-scouting the opponents, giving Eberflus the extra, kind of a voice in his ear to help him with these game plans? Right. We don't know the impact, but we can assume, because since his arrival, Aldo, hasn't the defense improved since Phil Snow's arrival? So yes, similar for Luke Getsy, bringing in a veteran offensive mind that can help him put together game plans, that can diversify your offensive system, put your players in the best position to succeed. Next thing you know, you don't have to fire the whole staff, but now you're building. You're building on the offensive players on the field. You're also building in the coaching staff as well. Imagine
this, Aldo. Imagine this. The Bears are on the cutting edge of a wave that is actually the reverse of what's been the trend in the NFL. What's been the trend in the NFL from a coaching standpoint is to go young, hipster, but we've created a coaching crisis in the NFL because we've gone young and hipster. Go find you 2 veteran coordinators who don't have allures of grandeur to become a head coach, and they're going to take off on you just because they get a few calls. Get you a guy else out there that just wants to coach ball, like Phil Snow, and get somebody on the offensive end that's not going to take off, and we take a run. We go on a run. I would like that much better than get some young upstart just because he's a hot name. Go against the NFL trend and win for once.
And again, you're not
to the future. To the future. Let's call it back to the future.
You're not bringing a new first-time play caller. You're keeping your play caller. He's learning on the job, but now you're bringing a senior offensive assistant who's done it before, been there for multiple decades in the NFL, who's helping him develop. Just like players develop with help from coaching on the field, help your young coaching staff develop with a senior assistant.
Real quick, Danny, I thought about this. This is year 2, the end of year 2. Why hasn't Luke transitioned to the booth yet?
Well, I mean, I don't mind seeing him on the field because I think him and Justin have that one-on-one connection. I'm okay with that. It's to me, him being out, because they have coaches up in the booth. They're kind of telling Luke what the defense is doing. Personnel is coming in and out, so that doesn't bother me as much. I like the fact that he's on the field with Justin. That if he has to get into Justin's face and they have to talk one-on-one, they can do that instead of just relying on the communication. So, but a lot of times we see Justin talking to Janoko and not to Luke Getsy. There once or twice you see a camera shot of Getsy and Justin kind of having a quick chat, but a lot of times it is a quarterback coach. So I like Getsy there on the football field.
I like the different perspective it gives you because it allows you to see the game. And
but you have coaches up in the booth, coach. You have coaches up there telling you, and you're here.
What I'm saying though, when I'm up there, it allows me to see. It allows me to see It allows me to see the wide receiver depth on some of the plays I'm calling to let me know, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm going a little bit too long here. Let me shorten the passing game up, get a little bit quicker in the passing game. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm running routes down the field. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing out there as an idea, like, hey, let's transition at some point.
Yeah. You guys for the last 15, 20 minutes have been riffing, and you guys have offered so much great content to bounce off of. So I'm not going to add my 2 points on every point, but I do want to spotlight one thing. Coach T, you have on your social media account and your YouTube channel and here on Bear Football, you've highlighted the fact that some of these coaches, like a Luke Getsy, are really not equipped to deal with an athletic quarterback, and that they have a prescribed notion of what the quarterback position is. And so they're failing to adapt to the capabilities of a Justin Field. And Danny has said it too, but Coach T, you have repeatedly said it, and I applaud you for that. And I also, when you say about a senior defensive assistant, the first thing that comes to mind is, for me, a young whippersnapper, because they think outside the box. And a lot of the traditional old guard coaches tend to think of quarterbacking, like Cam Newton said, Peyton Manning did a disservice to us quarterbacks who are athletic. They tend to think that way, but there probably are some OG coaches who could take Justin Fields and utilize his athletic strengths and his arm and his intuition in the pocket to great success. Please take it away.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it's not necessarily the new wave of quarterbacking that it's like almost like a misinterpretation of some of the zone read concepts that you see in college play, right? It's a misinterpretation of it, meaning, and I described this during our halftime show, right? How you call it on first down, right? Well, listen, you can call it on first down, certainly, but in the NFL, where it's more heavily reliant upon the pass game, I would like to see that situationally, right? It's not what Luke does, what frustrates us the most with Luke. And Danny, you let me know how you feel about that. It's not the complex stuff and him getting gadgety. It's nothing wrong with you getting gadgety, but that's what he majors is. It's what frustrates you the most about Luke Getsy is mastering the fundamentals of play calling and fundamental concepts, powers, leads, counters. You know what I'm saying? Situational play calling, the fundamental. You don't need that fancy toss out the DJ on fourth and whatever, right? When you got two guys that run for 4 yards per carry, just get under center and move the chains. Luke,
right. He gets cute. He tosses it to a receiver. If you're gonna toss, at least toss it to a running back. It's 1 yard.
Yeah,
you're a 230-pound, 6'3" quarterback that can get in there and get yourself a first down. Continue to move. That's when he gets too damn.
So you probably heard this before, Danny. It's not. So a lot of times with these young guys, I've seen it too. Like you get in coaching, the young guys, man, they want to reinvent football. They want you to come in and prove something to the crowd that they know how to reinvent football. But you're not going to reinvent the game of football. The game is going to call itself. You go through the week, you game plan, you watch film of the common opponents, you pull off of the tape what you feel like you can get away with. You shrink down your playbook, you come up with a game plan, and you feel the game and you let it call itself. That splash, funky, quick, cute stuff. You do that. You do one or two of those a game. You're going to get away with one or two ago. After that, it's over.
The game comes down to this, Coach, and this is the way I've seen it coach. This is the way I've seen coaches coach it. It comes down to the line of scrimmage. Can my guys move your guys? Can my guys block your guys? Right? If my SOBs on the front line are tougher than your SOBs on the front line, guess what? I'm going to be successful. Yeah. I'm going to run this ball, even if they know what the damn play is coming. You know, they're going to try and stop it. They can't if I'm bigger, better, and stronger than you are.
And that's Danny
with the whole Jim Harbaugh thing and the stealing science. And I think Deion Sanders did a great job of saying, doesn't matter what if you know what's coming. Can you stop it? Right. Can you stop it? And that's he gets too cute. 4th and 1, you're driving, you're controlling the game. All you need is 1 damn yard. Don't get cute. Get in the I formation. Get Justin under center. Do the tush push if you want. Do a toss sweep to Deontay Foreman, or just hit a fullback wham into the middle of the damn offensive line and get a damn 1 yard. That's all you need to do. You need to do it. Get cute and toss it to DJ Moore and get 15 yards. Get 1 yard. Continue the momentum. Keep the drive going and put points on the board. This is why I hope a senior offensive assistant comes in here and puts some of that basic, just calm down, Luke. Let's get the first down, and then we can set up this next first down by maybe doing this or stop this formation. Look at Ben Johnson, multiple formations today. We saw 2 receivers on pattern. We saw our receiver. There are times you saw 3 receivers, but again, they ran out of those sets. They never pass out of 3 receiver sets all the time. They never run out of the 2 receiver sets all the time. They just keep defenses off balance, and that's what you got to do. And if you have an athletic player like Justin Fields, a DJ Moore on the outside, a Cole Kmet who's really come on and developed, a young offensive line that's developing. You got hopefully you bring in another receiver on the outside. You got weapons that can do this, and you have a defense that's coming together under the head coach. And now if you put 28 points aboard on the scoreboard a week, you have a defense now that I feel like could hold on to that lead, win you more football games, and that's how your team grows. You get that winning culture, you get the confidence, and now next thing you know, you're winning football games week in and week out.
Yeah, Danny, you described one of my coachingism I described on my pregame show, right? I was showing some of the film of the first Detroit game, and Detroit was in the formation. I think it was 12 or 13 personnel under center, and they ran the play. And I said, listen, this is when I do week 1 install on my offense, I install all under center pro I or power I formations. And I tell the boys, I say, listen, I don't care what we're in. I want you when I install these plays, I want to be able to come up to the line of scrimmage, and I want you to be able to point to the hole we're running to and show the defense and tell them to play. And there's nothing they can do about it. The saying in coaching is this: there's no adjustment for, and Jenny just said it, there's no adjustment for we're just bigger, badder, and tougher than you are at the line of scrimmage. And that's how it goes. When you can play that style of football, you can win a lot of football games, especially in the playoffs, where the field and everything gets tight. When the game gets tight, the games go by much faster because you're not throwing the ball as much in the playoffs. You can win a lot of football games that way when you dominate the line of scrimmage and just play good defense. So, yeah, I'm with you. I hope we bring somebody in at a minimum that'll be a senior consultant to shake this guy, man, and bring him and be like, hey, man, it's just like, it's just like with the defense, man. Once we started concentrating on dominating the line of scrimmage, it didn't matter all the pretty trinkets we had in the back, in the secondary, the linebackers. We needed to establish things up front. And once we got a dude up front, things start transitioning a little bit.
What does Montez Sweat do? Montez Sweat is not the quick twitch, electric first step get off, bend around the edge and get to your quarterback like a Von Miller or some of those highlight guys. He's a pure power guy that wins with strength and length. Be able to, like today, he bench pressed that Decker back into the quarterback, use his long length to go ahead and grab off with one arm basically and corral that sack. So again, big, powerful, strong guys up front, and that's what Eberflus liked coming from the Colts with DeForest Buckner, not the traditional 3 technique in this 4-3 system, more of a bigger, longer, a stout kind of a 3 technique. He likes those big defensive linemen. So again, it's bigger, stronger, athletic guys up front. Now continue to do that on the offensive line. Continue to win the line of scrimmage. I guarantee you, if you continue to win the line of scrimmage on both offense and defense, you're going to have a good damn team. You put weapons around Justin Fields, you're going to have a good damn team. There's no reason to blow us up. And then we're talking about these, the quarterbacks like Justin, guys that can run and throw. Guys, this is what college is producing. Watch Saturdays. Jaden Daniels just won the Heisman Trophy. He's coming to the NFL. J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. He's I
better get used to it.
Passer, right? But he's great in terms of he plays in a pro system under Jim Harbaugh that does all the pro reads and all that stuff. Caleb Williams, he's not a great pocket passer. He's a guy that can create after everything breaks down with him, holds on to the football a lot as well. Drake May might be a guy more of a traditional pocket passer, but again, he's athletic for a guy who's 6'4", 220-some pounds as well. So college is producing these young athletic quarterbacks that can use their legs. So you have one now. Why start all over again? Just continue to build around him, coach him up, and now your program can go uphill instead of just starting all over again and crashing. This is what I'm saying. They should have won 3 games against the top 2 teams in the division, 3 games in a row. They've won 2 out of the damn 3. Right? They should have won 3. So I'm saying this team is getting better. There's no doubt about it. All you got to do now is just fix some of the holes on the coaching staff and on the football field. And I think if you can continue to finish the season strong, you have something to look forward to. I haven't been this optimistic about a Matt Eberflus coach team in a long ass time. So, and Aldo can stand, judge that. But I mean, just today's victory, and it's not just based on one game, guys. It's based on the last 3 games. The fact that they handled Detroit in Detroit, they should have won that game. They handled them today. They pretty much dominated this game versus Detroit. Detroit really, if it wasn't for that 4th-and-1 bad call by Getsy, Detroit might not even got into this game, guys. Seriously, because the way the Bears defense was playing, the Bears were controlling.
Might have been a blowout.
Yeah. Could have been, and that's your top team in
the division,
and you've handled them twice. Yeah. You obviously know how to game plan against his quarterback. He's thrown 4 interceptions against you, or maybe 6 now, but in the last 2 games. So that's who you got to beat to win this division, right? And if that's a top team and you can beat them, just improve on what you got now.
And what you got in front of you now is the opportunity. You got Green Bay in the last game of the season. You beat 2 division foes, right? You 2 division foes during the regular season.
I'm not skipping Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm saying you got an opportunity to send a message to the rest of the division, finish the season out strong. When we get there, you split the division, because I always talk about winning is not always linear. We think, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes fans think we're going to go from whatever we were doing before to Super Bowl contenders. And I talked about how, hey, you may lose a close game and then you win, you squeak one out, and then the next game is a blowout. Well, that actually just played out over the last 3 games for us. We lost one close, but we should have won. You got that feeling in your gut. You came back. You didn't have the most impressive output versus Minnesota, but you hung on to win, and now you go in and you blow a team out. You blow them out on the scoreboard, but you still go back to the tape room on Tuesday or Wednesday when they go in, and there's plenty to pick from and say, hey, guys, we won. And just imagine if we just clean this up or clean that up. We catch a ball here. We catch a ball there. You know what I'm saying? We complete a pass. We don't turn down here. We don't turn down there. By the way, NFL fans, I'm just going to let y'all know, because I've been watching a lot of tape lately. 10% of your throws are going to be turn downs, by the way. You know what I'm saying? 10%. So if we threw 33 passes today, you're going to get about 3 turn downs. If you see more than 3, then you can go crazy. Don't go crazy because you get all 22 next week and you see a few turn downs, because I've been watching a lot of turn downs over the last 3 or 4 weeks, by the way.
And I'm sorry, Coach. Quick question. What does a turn down mean?
A turn down might be where you turn down an open receiver and choose to do something else. So I did a comparisons of Luke Getsy's approach to the to the Lions, and Sean Payton's approach to the Broncos, Sean Payton's approach to the Detroit Lions, to compare game plans head to head. I had both sets of all 22 up, first 2 drives, showing you how Sean Payton addressed it compared to how Luke Getsy addressed it. First two series, Russell Wilson, I saw 2 turn downs, guys wide open, where our fans would have been going crazy. Oh my God, he was open. It happens. 10% of your plays is going to be turned down. So if you throw it 40 times, look for about 4 plays. It's probably going to be turned down. Something has to count.
When you're watching the all 22s, the key in those is look at the quarterback's head. The quarterback's going through a progression. Because his first one could really be going to his right, and now you see a tight end in the seam wide open. I think Cole Kmet was open on the seam on the sack in the second half, I want to say. But Justin's looking over to his left for DJ Moore, because he's going through his progression. And by the time he gets to Cole Kmet might be covered by that point. But then everybody's like, oh, he was wide open. But he wasn't the first guy in his progression. He wasn't that guy. So that's the thing. And the other thing is, I can see Aldo wants to get me drug tested because of the way I've been talking so positive today about Eberflus and his staff. So you can send that drug test. I'll pee in and send it back to you if you want.
No. I do want to show you a play or two, and we're still awaiting Matt Eberflus to go to his press conference. But Coach T and Danny, because I've been critical of Justin and that he doesn't release the ball quick enough, and that his processing is sometimes slow. And so on this play, which the Bears ended up settling for a field goal, he's got Darnell Mooney there by the cone, but he chooses to go to DJ Moore. And in fact, he probably could have hit DJ Moore if the ball was better placed. One more time, here's Darnell Mooney, who makes the cut right there. If you fire it to Darnell Mooney, it's a touchdown. But instead, he goes to his guy, DJ Moore. I have no problem with that choice. But I do think that there was a better decision. He just stayed on his first read, which was DJ Moore, and he could have made a post-snap adjustment to Darnell Mooney. Coach, you've been not harsh, but a strong defender of Justin Fields in some of that decision-making. Can you tell us what he did or did not do wrong there?
I'm gonna tell anybody that watched all 22, you're gonna break down, you're gonna look at all 22. There was 33 passes thrown today. 33 attempts today. There's going to be 3 turns downs. There's probably going to be a whole handful of plays where you say, like Aldo did, where he could have just did this, right? That's football. It's just football. You're going to see at least 3 plays on the tape where it's a guy standing in the middle field where he could have just been like, oh, I'm just going to dump it right here, where he might have decided to take off. What I'm going to charge you to do is go pull up the Lamar Jackson all 22, pull up the Russell Wilson all 22, and the Mahomes all 22. Go through the entire game, and then let me know if you come away with the same take about those quarterbacks, and then I'll rest my case right there.
Let me say this point, Danny, and then I'm dying to hear what you got to say. Those guys, though, have achieved a higher level of success. So, it's a little, we're comparing apples and oranges. We still have a quarterback in Justin Fields who's incredibly talented, still trying to achieve that type of consistency and success that you just mentioned. Go ahead, Danny, your thoughts.
No, I'm saying, like, to me, when I saw that play, I'm like, all right, his first read was DJ Moore. If DJ Moore got one-on-one coverage, he's throwing it to Moore. My criticism of Justin is he needs to make a better throw. That ball's got to be more towards a pylon, more towards the outside. If it makes a better throw, DJ has a better chance of making a touchdown grab. And, of course, it's a better throw. It's a touchdown. No one's going to be arguing with it. But that's where my thing is.
Let's resume that discussion as soon as Coach Eberflus is done here at the podium.
We started out the game strong, like how we started out on offense, driving the ball down the field. A pretty good solid start there in the first quarter, and then we went for it on the 4th and 1. That's kind of where momentum shifted a little bit. And that was a good go. I mean, it was at the, we're outside our kick line there, and it was certainly, a play we liked, and they had an alignment where they, did a good job of executing against us, and that's kind of where momentum shifted. They went down and scored on us, and went back and forth in there from the first half. And, so it really just gathered the guys at halftime and just told them a little bit about, hey, this is where it is right now. It's a tie game, and we just got to do a really good job of executing our fundamentals and basics. And that's what I told them from the bye week. And that was our biggest thing that we wanted to talk about, for improving ourselves. And I talked to you guys, of course, during the week with that, it's by position, yourself as an individual, and then really working as a unit. And that was the message, and like in the first half, we weren't really good on defense and on third down. We did not do a good enough job in the run game. They popped a couple runs on us. So we had to go back to the basics, and the guys came out, in the second half and did a really good job of executing the calls. And that gave us a chance to win it. So obviously the big momentum shift, that we talk about was obviously the 3rd and 13 going to 4th and, 13, and us going out there, and they jumped off sides and us hitting that shot to DJ. That was the big momentum shifter there. And then the very next play, they ended up fumbling the snap, and, TJ ended up, getting the fumble recovery and then cashing in. So it was good. It's the big thing with us is that working on sudden change. That was the big part of it. Offensively, I thought we did a solid job of that today. Defense did a nice job of taking the ball away. We were still +3, and that's going to be a big part for us. And then finishing in the fourth quarter. That's always a big part of winning in the NFL, and we did that today. But we beat a good opponent today. My hats off to them. They're tough. They play a good style, and our guys did a good job of coming through in the fourth quarter and finishing off the second half. But with that, open up the questions.
The free play. A lot of you guys were saying they did not expect Detroit to jump, didn't expect to be running a play on that snap. What kind of high-level processing does that ask of Justin to be able to react in the moment and then run a good play at a time when you're not expecting to run a play at all?
Yeah, you have a couple options off of that when they jump. One of them is, you go, I'll go, and that's what we did. And, DJ's hard to cover. He's hard to cover when you got a guy, over top of him or just one guy on him like that. So really good throw, really good catch, and really good reaction, because when they jump, you got to beat them to the punch, because the defense isn't quite ready when that happens. And what happens is a lot of times the D line stops. When they jump off sides, they stop, they hesitate. So you have a little bit more time. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
What in your estimation sold that to make them jump?
What's that?
What do you sense made
Cadence.
What do you think sold that play?
It's just just
Cadence.
it's the hard count. He did a really good job of hard counting, and just a really good job there. And they got him to jump. His use of cadence, and that's what it was.
After giving up 2 touchdowns late in the first half, the defense came out and completely shut them down, like no first downs and 5 drives. What does it say about that unit's resiliency, would you say?
Yeah, it's about those guys hanging together. They do a great job at halftime. I mean, our coaches do an unbelievable job getting the pictures right. They're all drawn up. I mean, it's like looking at a playbook. I mean, they do a great job making the adjustments, and we all gather together. Everybody's sitting in there. We talk about what our plan, what happened, where was the breakdowns, and then what are we going to do going forward, and what's going to be the calls. And I tell them, how we're going to adjust, what we're going to do differently on third down in situations. And they do a great job with coming together that way.
So you're on a win streak now for the first time since you got here. You just beat a team that came back to beat you 2 weeks ago. Do you have a hope that this could be a springboard? It's a win, but you hope it might carry a little more than a win. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. It's been a long time coming. You beat to win 2 in a row, and it's 2 division opponents, which is big. And the guys are super excited, but we could feel this coming. With the improvement was happening. Over time. And I just kept telling them, if you keep doing right, it's going to be right. And good things are going to happen. And 2 most important things is the ball and the fourth quarter finish. And the guys always stayed together. There was never a point where, the morale was bad or the guys, didn't have that. And I told them that in the room. I said, I appreciate their leadership because they hung together through adversity. And, football's tough. It's hard to win, so it's really good by them. It's hanging together. And it's so important that they keep doing the work patterns right, because they've always worked hard, right? They've always, worked on detail and fundamentals, and they just got to continue to do that week to week.
Yeah, the 4th and 1 where Sanborn stopped the game. What was your thought process behind that call and the execution of Sanborn's execution of it?
Yeah, I mean that's a call where they're on the minus field, and we just that was a call we really liked. In that situation, it's a kind of a slanting line. We actually, we end up slanting right into it, and he made a nice play.
Jaquan had 17 tackles today. Jaquan.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
What did you think of the way he was playing?
Sounds like my college stats, for crying out loud. But no, it's Ball State over there. I got you. It's unbelievable to get 17 tackles. I mean, that's unheard of. I don't think that's ever happened in my career to have a guy have that many tackles.
Wow.
I honestly can't remember. I mean, I have to go look it up, but that's amazing. And what he brings, what Brisker brings is the reason why we drafted him. Ryan and I always talk about guys we acquire and bring in here. They have to love football, because what does that do? That loving football, it brings a passion and a juice to everybody else. If we get enough guys like that, which we have a bunch of guys like that, you can tangibly see that on the field. You can feel that energy, right? And that's what he is. And we just got to keep bringing guys like that in here and doing a great job evaluating. And Ryan and his crew are definitely doing that. But man, that's amazing. 17 tackles is unbelievable.
You've spoken of your belief that this team is progressing the right way all along. And what's the feeling of reward that this team, you won a couple straight games now, and you're getting the off that you were hoping?
It's just like anything. You want to see the proof of it. I talked to you guys earlier in the week about the small wins, that you have. You can see the improvement, by the unit, by the positions and stuff like that. And then, to have a win like this it's proof for those guys. It's proof for our staff. It's proof really for, the Chicago Bear fans. And they were great out there today. They were loud when they needed to be loud. It was awesome. And I just want to tip my hat to the fans.
The touchdown, DJ's touchdown run in the first quarter. Here's what you liked about the design that you guys installed, and obviously the execution.
Yeah, that's a cool play, wasn't it? I like that. That was good because you got your 2 best players right there. Guys that really are what the defense is really worried about. And you got one going this way and one going that way, so they draw attention. And I thought it was really cool play design. I love the play during the week, and it was well executed. And he's fast, really fast, and he can get to the corner. And what's great about DJ, and you can see that when he catches the ball, his hands are so strong. But he's got great contact balance. I know he didn't have to use it on that play, but that was a cool play by Getsy.
You guys have been bitten by some poorly timed penalties in recent games. Just 4 today, 35 yards. What was your thoughts on the effort and that focus this week?
Yeah, it was big. You know, we've been focusing on that, like we talked about. You know, for the bye week improvement. You know, one of them was the false starts and the holding penalties and that. I think we improved on that. You know, only having 4. And we always bring it to a man's attention. You know, when you do that, and we have things that we do. Afterward, if you get a false start, you're doing this, you're doing that. It's important to the guys, and we point it out to them, show it in the team meeting, and the guys want to do right.
Back and forth in one situation where it looked like Justin was under center. Was he supposed to sneak it there? Just saw something that wasn't aligned with the blocking. Just one where he pitched to DJ.
Yeah, that was a play design to pitch it to him. Yeah, so we were going to fake the the push play, the rugby play, and then we were going to flip it to DJ. This is great by Detroit. Did a good job of really, executing on that play, and they made a nice tackle. What I do love about that play, though, is that DJ, the way he ran it, like when he knew he was going to get tackled, he really went forward and with violence and with passion. And that's what I liked about that play.
For that not to kill momentum, obviously you guys are up at 10-0 at that point. For you guys to rebound going into halftime, what does that say about the growth of this team and being able to flip that switch and carry that momentum that they might have lost in that?
Yeah, I mean, they end up getting that conversion. They stopped us on that. Then they went down the field. We got to do a better job on defense there for sure. But regaining momentum is always about knowing that the game's 60 minutes long, and we can regain momentum. And our defense did a heck of a job coming out in the second half. And I think we went a couple 3-and-outs in a row, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and did a nice job with that. We took the ball away a couple times and did what we had to do at the end. When you're up there, we worked our tail off on that. When you're up on an opponent, just like we were last time, we worked on it with the calls and the execution, and actually simulating that during practice a few times during this week, and the guys did a good job.
Do you feel like you have defensively, as the defensive play caller, do you feel like you have all the pieces you need personnel wise to call a defense that matches your vision of what the defense should be?
Good question.
Maybe last year, early this year, you were having to make up for some shortfalls in certain positions.
Yeah, I mean, as you acquire more talent, you can let those guys play, and let those guys do things and play more coverage, and you can do that. And we still pressured a bunch today, but I love our players, offense, defense, and in the kicking game. I love all of them, and they're doing a great job of, like I said, hanging together. But in terms of answering your question, Jason, yeah, I feel a lot better about it.
And, characterize the final 4 games coming up, the opportunity that you guys have.
Yeah, it's like you said, Pat. It's opportunity. It's opportunity for us to put our best foot forward, and be able to stay the course and being able to keep coming together and keep executing at a higher rate. And there's a lot of things out there that we can learn from, and so we're going to take the same mindset. We're going to look at the tape, and we're going to try to, make sure we look at it with the right way. It's not all, rose-colored glasses because you won the game. That's not it. You got to learn from this game and get better.
All right, excellent stuff. I was actually
at halftime. Is what you just said?
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Did he say the game was tied at halftime?
Yes, he did. He doesn't know.
Did I? Right on cue. Right on cue. Did I not say it? Did I not say it? I not say it. Y'all don't see the offside comments. I say he gonna say something dumb at some point.
That's why I hear he goes and it says something stupid like that.
Yeah, I gotta tell you. Oh, wait a minute. Justin Fields is already at the podium, so let's go to him now. Where's Justin? Here he comes.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're just lined up in a formation, and we try to get him to jump off sides. So just went on one, then did a dummy protection adjustment to make it feel like a real play, and of course the second one, we got somebody to jump, and then at that point you want to convert because I think it was 4th and 12 you said, so that's only a 5-yard penalty. So did a great job of front protecting. I think Tev did a great job selling it and stuff like that. DJ ran off the ball hard. And we practice that, each and every week. So it was great execution by everyone.
What's the key to selling that without being over dramatic and overselling it to where they don't believe it?
Just treat it like the same play, like just treat it like a normal play. And most teams are knowing that's gonna come. So just treating it like a normal play.
What's the challenge to take advantage of it? I understand how you guys got it, but to be ready to run a real play at a time when you're not expecting there to be one.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a challenge because we practice it, multiple times a week. So, we're used to it. Might happen like 3 times this past week during practice. So not during practice and walkthrough. So, like I said, we practice it. It happens every week, and the guys are ready for it, and we executed it. So it ended up being a big play.
What's the key to when you guys don't pick up the third and the fourth down and more kind of shifts to get back in the game? What's the key for y'all to kind of stay resilient and continue to regain control of that game, where maybe in the past kind of lost and other teams of control?
I mean, yeah, we know as a team that they're going to be ups and downs during the game, and we try to stay even keeled throughout the whole time. So I think the guys did that. I think personally we did leave a lot on the field. I think we could have been better in some areas, but at the end of the day, we got the dub, and that's all that matters. And like I said before, the team did a great job being down at halftime, coming out after halftime in the third and fourth quarter, finish of the game, and just playing for each other. So yeah.
What's your point of view on the DJ fake end around?
You said what?
The DJ run for a touchdown in the first quarter. What's your point of view?
Yeah, I mean,
what'd you see?
I was tired of that play. I'm so glad Luke called that play, but I mean, yeah, my job is just to fake the end around, and maybe they think we got a trick play or something coming up, but great blocking. I think DJ just walked in pretty much untouched, so great play calling, great blocking up front.
You ever had to sell a run fake before? Is not.
Yeah, we did it a few times last year. I know we did it against Dallas, and then maybe another game, but yeah, we did it last year.
What did you like when Luke installed that play? What did you like about the design, and kind of were you excited when that call came in?
I was excited because I was tired. That's the only reason I was excited. So, I just do my job, fake the little handoff, and get a little breather. And so that made it even better. But I mean, yeah, I just treat it like a regular play, and just do my job. It could be a big play, it could be not. So my biggest thing is just going out on that play and doing your job, and everybody did their job and turned out successful. So, yeah.
Justin, you said you guys left some stuff on the field offensively. Cole said his exact line was that you guys could have put 40 on him.
Yeah.
What do you look at from your own game, a good game, and say, I can do more than this. I can do more in these areas?
So what do I look at?
Your game, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just what I messed up on. So, there are a few throws I missed. That dagger to DJ, I'm still sick about that one late in the game. But, I mean, yeah, there were multiple plays during the game where we could have executed it better. I think third and short, the one to Moon, could have executed that better. It was a great play call. Got exactly what we thought we were going to get. And, I mean, yeah, but just the third downs and just the, throws downfield, of course, there were a couple back that I wanted back. But, end all, we won the game, and, still room to get better. So, that's just, hope for the future.
What were the conversations like in the huddle, on the sideline, in the fourth quarter, as you guys are working on putting this game away?
You said, what were the conversations like? Normal conversations, nothing crazy. Just focusing on finishing, everybody doing their job. So nothing, spectacular, just out of the ordinary.
Justin, what is it about this defense? I mean, 4 times now you've just demolished them with the way that you run against Detroit. Is there something you're seeing, the way that their ends are playing, that's allowing you to be that effective?
I mean, yeah, they did a pretty good job today. I think most of my runs came on scrambles. So I think they did a pretty good job today of, containing me in the run game and stuff like that. But when they do that, it's just my job to, pull the ball, take the defensive end out of the play. And there's one play I remember where Deontay got like 6-7 yards. So, anytime we can get 6-7 yards in a run play is great for us. So.
Justin, this is the first hit 8 more times. How are you feeling, first of all, and then second of all, what kind of impact do you think it has on your team as you get back up after that?
You said what?
You were sacked 3 times, hit 8 more times.
Mm-hmm.
How are you feeling, first of all, and then second of all, what kind of impact do you think seeing you get back up like that has on your team?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be good, body wise, but I think I could probably take some hits off by throwing the ball away or checking it down faster. So all of those sacks and pressures aren't on the O-line and stuff like that. So I just got to look at the film and see where I could have gotten the ball out faster, throwing the ball away, boom, 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 and just move on. But I mean, yeah, it's football. So you're gonna have games where you get sacked more than usual, and you're gonna have games where you don't get sacked at all. So yeah.
Kind of an emotional lift for you to see just pop back up like that.
It might be, but I think we all just play for each other out there. Every drive we go out there and play for each other. So I think there are plenty of times where guys could have stepped out of the game. They might have not been feeling their best. I know some guys were banged up on offense, but we all played through it and played for each other, and that's what you want out of a teammate. And from your coaches and your teammates. So,
What do you think a win like this can do for the next month of the season here in terms of you're riding your first win streak in almost 2 years? It feels like the team's playing better. How can you parlay this into a strong finish?
Keep everything the same. Don't get high, don't get too high, don't get too low, and just keep working, keep getting better each and every day. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of spots to improve. Like Cole said, we probably could have put up 40 if we wanted to, or if we of course we wanted to, but if we could have, executed better. But just going back and keeping that same mindset working and just getting better each and every day.
On your touchdown scramble, at what point did you realize that running lane was there for you?
When I kind of stepped to the right a little bit, I really just saw green grass. I was looking, for DJ to throw because he was one-on-one in kind of the back corner. But then I kind of just looked down and just saw, green grass right there. So it just ran.
What's your confidence level now after 2 wins for the first time? What's your confidence level going into the final stretch of the year with the offense and you personally?
The same. We've always had confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you have no shot. So, I think somebody asked me that in there, but we have confidence as individual players. As a team, we have confidence, and we know who we are as a team, and we know what we can do as a team. So, like I said, it's just not getting too high or too low, not getting too cocky, and knowing that we have areas that we can improve in, and that we just have to go in tomorrow, keep getting better, and practice. Just keep focusing on the details and just the little stuff in the game. So.
With you and Moon as high as always been, it seems like you guys have done a little bit off. He hasn't quite been where you want him to be, or you haven't quite put it where he expected. The chemistry's a little bit off. I know you've been working with DJ and getting Cole in the backs involved, but still don't seem like y'all quite as connected as y'all always have.
Yeah, like I said, there's always room to improve. There's some plays today where I might have missed them or we just didn't connect. But that's why we work out the practice, doing extra routes and stuff like that. I've told y'all since I got here, Moon. One thing about Darnell Mooney, he's gonna put in the work to be successful. So I'm not really worried about that at all. We're just gonna keep working and keep going at it. So.
Justin, not to put you in a situation where you sound selfish. It just seems like the offense is much better when they're playing according to the script. Has there been any discussion between you and coaching staff about emphasizing this?
Emphasizing
just playing according to your strengths. Like I noticed, offensively, when we got to run a lot of RPOs, a lot of play actions, it seems like you're at your best. But it seems like when you're in the pocket, there's not a lot of movement. It seems like there's a lot of stagnant situations taking place.
Luke knows what I do best. We've been together for a couple of years now, so he knows what really everybody does best. So I think we game plan in terms of our opponent, what we have to do, and also you have to think of what everybody else does well on the offensive side of the ball. But we call the plays that we need to call to win games, and it's pretty much that simple.
You said you turned the corner on the touchdown run, and you saw just green grass. Usually it's not green. Usually it's like brown or yellow.
Yeah.
Like for a December game like this, how much of a difference does the field condition make? Because from up top, it looks much better than it usually does.
Yeah, funny you say that because when I sat right on the field, I noticed how green it was. So, whoever's keeping up with the field is definitely doing a great job of, handling the grass and, making sure it's good to go when we go out there.
Does it make a big difference?
No, it does. It definitely does. So I'm one of the guys that, likes turf because you know what you're going to get. You know what turf's going to get you. But, the field was pretty good out there today. So.
Who said something along the lines of these last couple of weeks, especially these last 2 wins, or proof that it's working? What does that show you guys about kind of buy-in, the momentum that you're carrying over from the Minnesota game, and what you can do to finish out the season?
Can you say that again, please?
To paraphrase something Flus said earlier, he was talking about the last couple of weeks, that the wins are proof that it's working and showing you guys that in the locker room, that he might have said that in the locker room to you guys. What can you take from that to build on these final 4 games, whether you get more wins or whether, whatever the record ends up being, what can you build?
So he basically just shows us the formula of winning. So takeaways, explosive plays and stuff like that, third down conversion and stuff like that. So I think those are the areas, eventually to where you win games, winning the fourth quarter and finishing. So as long as we focus on those aspects, those situations, we're more likely to win a game than lose a game. And everybody's bought in the past 3 or 4 weeks, and we're all coming together as a team. So I expect nothing but us to keep coming together, keep getting better, and just keep working.
Guys, I'm dying to hear what you have to say regarding Justin Fields' comments, but I do want to make 3 really super quick points here. Number one, everyone in the chat room is wondering where Don Burr is. He is the resident Detroit Lions fan who comes onto the Barroom Network shows, and probably Coach T, your network too, and every other Chicago Bears network talking shit. Well, they're asking why is he? Where is he? Well, I found him. He's the guy to the left of the dominatrix, and he's taking his punishment elsewhere as opposed to here on the Barroom. So that's where he is. Secondly, I am so happy for Justin Fields. I mean, if you saw Wednesday's press conference and the questions that were leveled, and I'm not, picking on the media, it's their job to ask these questions about your future and the pressure and so forth. But he revealed how much of that this season has been tough on him, listening to the criticism and so forth. And so for him to take the podium today and after a victory, which a lot of it was on him, I am so happy for that guy, and I wish him continued success. Whether he's a Bear or not, I know he's going to have success in the future, and I really, really, really appreciate him and what he's done so far for Chicago. And then third, well, I don't even go into third. I'm just dying to hear what you guys have to say about Justin Fields' press conference. Coach T, why don't you go first?
Yeah, certainly proud of the effort, you know what I'm saying? But, I know the character of this kid. We've been watching him locally here in Georgia for years now, you know what I'm saying? He's been putting up great numbers as a football player, as a quarterback, you know what I'm saying? Elite 11 winner. Thought he was going to go do some things at Georgia. For the local Georgia Bulldog fan base, ended up rolling up to Ohio State and becoming the Justin Fields we know. And you know what I'm saying? Like, there's fair criticism out there for certain talking points related to his play. But I think when you put things into context, you know what I'm saying, about his tenure here, I saw a cool tweet or something like that on X that says, like, you know what I'm saying, the brain in the blender for people that's talking about year one and counting year one under Nagy. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways you can go with that. When you put things into context, you know what I'm saying, a bunch of novices on the coaching staff and having to learn along with your coaching. If you put things into context and you see where we are right now, and again, you know what I'm saying, a close game, a good game at Detroit a few weeks back. You know what I'm saying? Some errors made in Minnesota, a much more clean game here, no turnovers. And I'm always concerned about interceptions. Usually when we talk about buzz quarterbacks, there are guys that's throwing the ball to the other team for pick sixes and interceptions and running back the other way. And I said this on the opening show today. You can clean up and coach up, you know what I'm saying, ball security for the quarterback standpoint. What you can't coach up is when guys is just throwing the ball to the other team and they seem like they have a careless attitude about how they throw the ball, or a guy that's just a Johnny Manziel type that's just partying and not studying and not working hard and not trying and so on and so forth. Those are the things that you can't coach. So proud of the kid. Definitely been tough on him in Chicago, but you know what I'm saying, as a second or third largest media base in the nation, that comes with the job, right? We understand that comes with the job. Shout out to him. Shout out to his parents for, instilling that character in him to stay steady throughout this. And I believe, man, guess what? We got 2 indoor teams coming into Chicago, Atlanta, and Arizona coming into us, when the weather gets the nastiest. We got the game in Cleveland, and then you got Green Bay in Green Bay. I think they can get some. I think they can get some more work done throughout this season and make a real case for and quiet some of the noise around his job security moving forward.
Yeah, in terms of me, I mean, it just shows the continued maturity of this kid. That the kid's a team leader. That the team loves him. They play hard for him. They believe in him. And for me, and the guy, it's continuing take. He's a big target for everyone. Any incomplete ball, any interception, anything that goes wrong in offense, it's all on Justin Fields. We saw it today at halftime. That the Bears defense gave up 13 unanswered points, and I think not everybody's pointing the finger on Justin Fields and his inability to make reads quickly. That's the one thing that I've stressed in terms of coming into the season where I want to see Justin improve is that play clock in his head, just getting the ball out quickly, making quick, decisive reads, and not taking sacks, not taking those unnecessary hits. And he even says that that's things that he's working on. That dagger to DJ Moore, that was a wide open throw. He missed it. He airmailed it. He knows that was a bad throw. He's going to work on it. The one to Darnell Mooney, that could have been a third and 2. That could have been a first down conversion. He missed it. He knows that. The kid doesn't sit there and make excuses. He just knows that he's got to continue to work and get better. And I think that's the thing is like, we got to be patient with this kid, give him more time, allow him to speed up that play clock, go into an offensive system, hopefully for the 3rd year consecutively with some offensive help, we talked about earlier in this program, and just continue to build the kid, put weapons around him, and just, continue to like all the off the field stuff, all the stuff, the attributes you want in a leader and a quarterback, he's got it. It's just these some of the small finer tuning on offense. And like today, until he gets to that point where he's just 1, 2, 3, bang, balls out of his hands. He knows what, he's this play speed in his head, the play clock in his head is quick enough. Today was a perfect example of the type of game we need from Justin Fields. 200 plus yards passing, around 60 yards rushing, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown, give us 2 touchdowns on offense and continue to work off of that play, that run game. I think that's a winning formula for this team. We talked about, next week's going to be a tough opponent. That the Browns have a nasty defensive line, a nasty defense all around. That man, Myles Garrett, I hope they run a lot of 12 personnel and put some protection out there on that side, because Justin's going to have to be able to get away from him, get rid of the ball quickly. We might see one of those, horizontal play games again, or game plans again, where he's getting the ball out of his hands and getting the ball quickly into DJ Moore's hands and the receiver's hands, just to kind of offset what Myles Garrett can do. But just continue to grow with this kid. And again, this is not something that it's happened over as quick as some has wanted to, but also it's a team that's been building around him. And then just continue to add weapons. And that's where I stress here is the patience with this kid, is because you see that potential. You see the ability to make plays with his arms, with his legs. Yeah, there's things he's got to clean up, but he knows it. And I just hope that they continue to stick with him and continue to give him a shot to become the player that he can be.
Coach, I want to give you another shout out. And I know Danny has made this point too, but when we're looking and evaluating Justin Fields, you have to really have knowledge of what is going on with quarterbacking in the entire NFL, not only now, but also history. And I know I've been on that in the past with there were people who worked here on the network who were very critical of Charles Leno Jr. And in fact, most of the fan base was very critical of Charles Leno Jr. But I kept saying, you guys don't know what the hell is happening with the left tackle position in the NFL. This guy should be ranked 14th, 15th best NFL left tackle, and you're treating him like he's trash. And that is not the case. So there's a lot of reasons behind that. But anyway, I just wanted to give kudos to where kudos are deserved to Coach T and Danny Shimon for making us aware that when we're being critical of the coaching staff, of the quarterbacks, the linemen, the players, and so forth, we have to take it within the context of the entire NFL. This team, I'll finish up with this and then we'll go to final thoughts, guys, because I could talk to you guys for another 2 hours, but we got families and stuff to do on Sunday nights. I really do feel like this team sent a promise to Chicago Bears fans, and that promise was, we have the talent. And in the upcoming offseason, we have to augment that talent with the necessary pieces in order to succeed and get into the playoffs and win Super Bowls. And that those pieces, it could be a head coach, it could be an offensive coordinator. I don't know what it is. We'll be thinking and talking about that a lot more over the next few months. But the talent that I saw out there on the football field took the challenge of the Detroit Lions, the media darlings of the NFL, and they squashed it. Coach T, I'll give you your final word, and then we'll go to Danny.
Yeah, I'm a segue off of what you just said right there, Aldo, right? I think what you're looking at with this football team is a much improved football team from week 1 versus Green Bay, where we pissed down our legs in a game we expected to win. The entire fan base expected to win. And now you're starting to see the fruits of the work collectively of the entire organization. Ryan Poles goes out and get Montez Sweat. The philosophy was in. Matt Eberflus takes over as defensive coordinator. Phil Snow comes in, whatever his role in that situation is, dialing up pressure. You know what I'm saying? A little bit better, you know what I'm saying, communication in the offensive staff. I think this offense is still behind the defense. I still think the coordinator position, like me and Danny have emphasized during the show, is something you have to take a look at, whether you bring in a senior offensive assistant to either take over run game coordinator or passing game coordinator. I'm thinking the other way, opposite of Danny. I think we need a passing game coordinator type guys to tighten things up and show certain things up a little bit. But you know what I'm saying? If we run off, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, we run off 3 of the next 4. You know what I'm saying? We're having a different conversation about this football team. And you have to take that into consideration, obviously, for the head coaching job. But then also talking about Justin Fields, man. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a little bit selfish and plug the show and say, listen, if you want to understand the context of offensive play a little bit better, because you need to be able to break down the film and understand what you're looking at, right? If you're going to make your takes and you really going to be one of those type of people that, you know what I'm saying, I stand on my takes and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying, come over to the playbook sessions that we do on the show where we break down 2 or 3 series. And I just don't break down Luke Getsy. I'm comparing Luke Getsy's offensive play calling to common opponents, right? So we played Detroit. I showed the Baltimore Ravens how they attacked Detroit. I showed how Sean Payton attacked Detroit. So you can see how we're stacking up against our guys, stacking up against some of these other coordinators out there. And then you'll begin to see, you know what I'm saying, what we're talking about when we're critical of the offensive coordinator. So, yeah, man, excited for the win. Congratulations to the fan base, definitely the players, the staff, and all that good stuff. And I say let's get another one next week, man.
Yeah, for me, in terms of my final thoughts, obviously, I think this is a victory that I said earlier that could be a Matt Eberflus, defining moment, defining victory. Second back-to-back wins, first time in his coaching career is on that. Back-to-back wins in the division. Really should have won the last 3. Took the top team in the division and pretty much dominated them for about 7.5 quarters. That was a half quarter in the fourth in Detroit where they ended up losing that game. So, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to win your division first, beat the best teams in your division. And the Bears have shown they can do that. Again, they're not a finished product by, they still have, a young quarterback that's still developing. You still need to become more offensive weapons on the outside for him. And like I said, a center overall to kind of protect them better on the offensive line, but they're developing. And the one thing is this defense is coming along. If this defense continues to hold teams to, the way they've been, shutting down Detroit and Minnesota and some of the other teams, continue to hold them under 20 points. And if the offense puts up 21 or 28 points a game, you're going to keep winning. Now, next week is going to be a big challenge. Defensively, obviously, the quarterback position for Cleveland isn't what it was when Deshaun Watson was playing, but they have a solid offensive line, solid running game. You got to be able to stop the run, and then defensively, they have some guys that can get after the quarterback. So I'm curious to see what Luke Getsy does here next week to go ahead and kind of build some momentum. But if they go in and they can beat Cleveland, now you're talking about a team possibly running the table. And again, they stand today at 5-8 after today's victory. Think about it, guys. There are 2 games that they blew: the Broncos game here and the Lions game 3 weeks ago. This team could be 7-6 right now in the thick of the playoff hunt if they had just taken care of those 2 games. So we're talking about a young team developing. Everyone's talking about getting rid of Justin Fields and all this stuff, but just think about what I just said right now. They could be 7-6, probably should be 7-6 in the thick of the playoff hunt here in the NFC. So it's a thing that I've been harsh on Matt Eberflus, and I'm right now. This is a game for me that he kind of stepped up and his defense stepped up and his team and came through here these last 3 weeks and show what they could do. They got to continue to get better, got to add some more assets on defense and offense as well. But offensively, Luke gets you got to be able to just play to your strengths, and that's an offensive line that can move guys off the line of scrimmage, run the ball, build your game off the play action, get Justin under center, and now you'll be more successful, especially if this defense continues to create turnover. So it's a positive momentum for the team. You know, I'm sure they're all happy inside that locker room. I'm sure now all coaching staff feels a little bit better about themselves. So let's see if they, but they go out next week and they lay an egg versus Cleveland. That's going to roll everything back down to zero. So we don't want to do that. You want to go out there. I'm not saying you have to necessarily go out there and dominate and beat Cleveland, but be competitive. Don't give them, don't give us the fans here or an analyst here a reason to kind of burn you guys down because you guys went in with a dumbass game plan. So let's continue to build off of this game, continue to build off of what you have here in terms of defensively what you're doing, getting off on third downs, creating turnovers, offensively being, Justin, again, that 220 plus yards passing, one passing touchdown, 60 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown. That's the formula right now for Justin until he gets into that mode where he's got that quicker play clock in his head, and then you can continue to build off of that. But good win. They should feel good about themselves. But again, they should have won 3 in a row. They dominated the top team in the division for 7.5 quarters, guys. So that's something you have to keep in mind. So the first step is to win a division before you start winning, playoff games. So I think that's a good sign right there. And that's something positive that Eberflus and his staff can build on.
Coach, before we get you out of here, one last time, where can we find your YouTube channel so that we can participate in those videos with you?
Yeah, man, it's Chicago Bears 360 on YouTube. Man, listen, I'm glad Aldo brought me back because the channel has been going crazy over the last couple of weeks, man. So I'm excited. We've been blowing up, man. And I think that's largely due to the all 22 breakdown session we've been doing. So find us over at YouTube, Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T. I had guests on the show, and we're breaking down the film usually on Wednesdays and sometimes on Friday nights when I'm bored. Just come over and join us. I guarantee you're going to learn something. I promise you that.
There you go. And Danny, when's the next time we're going to see you in the bar room?
Well, I'll be on Before 55 this Wednesday, previewing the Cleveland Browns game. So catch me and obviously John Buffon and Alyssa, and we'll go ahead and have some good breakdowns, talk about this game, and obviously break down or preview the Browns game, and then head into next weekend.
That's right. And if my wife allows me to, I'm going to start studying Browns tape for the upcoming preview tape that I do for Buffon 55 and keep available on our YouTube channel as an extra. All right, everybody. Thank you all for everyone who joined us live. There were hundreds of you. Really appreciate your interaction with us in the chat room. You help make the show what it is, which to me has been a fun 81 minutes, so not too bad. Take care, everyone, and thank you, Coach T and Danny Shimon. Bye-bye.
All right, see y'all next time.